there's a lot to talk about with this drone. Not the Yemen. I don't know why the thing says Yemen, but with the boat attack
off of the coast of Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah. So basically, I was talking to Jamal Thomas. He interviewed me this morning about this earlier before our show, and he brought up a really good point, which is, why do we only care? This is a double tap strike. So double tap strike, as at least in recent history, originated with something that the Bush and Obama administrations used to do all the time in places like Pakistan, and they probably, sure it still happens. Basically, you bomb a target, like usually a car, for example, and then passersby, good Samaritans, first responders, ambulance workers, doctors, nurses, they come to assist. And then, aren't we funny? Then we drop another bomb in the same spot and kill all of them. That's called a double tap strike. Basically, everyone kind of agrees that's gross, and yet, we do it all the time. So that's what happened here. It's a double tap strike. The changing narratives of the Trump administration definitely raised my hackles. I mean, there's lots of times when you can have a changing story or a changing narrative that's still totally true because you're trying to figure out what happened, or you're looking at it from a different point of view. But in this particular case, this event was recorded, right, on video. Yeah. And it was recorded internally, and there are detailed logs. So we blew up this boat. It was 40 feet long. There were 2 survivors, presumably injured, on the high seas, clinging to a piece of wood in the middle of the Caribbean. We observed them for 41 minutes, and then we dropped another bomb on them and killed them. I mean, I guess, to me, what we should have claimed was that it was a coup de grace to put people who were going to die for sure out of their misery. Instead, you have this story that, first of all, A, that didn't happen. Well, okay, B, it did happen. Then it's like, okay, well, it was Hegseth. Well, no, it wasn't Hegseth. It was this admiral. Oh, where was Hegseth? He gave the order. No, Hegseth was at the bar or wherever.
He's busy. Yeah, he said, literally, I was busy. There's a lot to do at the Department of War.
He was out warring. So Hegseth is, so all these narratives keep changing. And then it's like, but it was the admiral, but we think he was totally right. And now there's a congressman said, oh, actually there was a third and a fourth strike. And I don't know if he was joking and being sarcastic or if he's being real. But the point is, certain members of Congress were briefed. They saw the video. Democrats came out of it saying that they'd never seen anything quite like it, even though they'd seen video of other aerial attacks by the United States that killed people. And the Republicans came out of it saying all A-OK, just like normal. So there's a lot going on here. And the New York Times finally gets around today to questioning, well, are any of the 87 deaths legal? And is it maybe the problem here? Obviously we all kind of agree it's not sporting to blow up people who are clinging to a piece of wood. The administration actually argued, Scott, that like they were calling for backup, that they were like on narco terrorist 911, like calling Harvey Keitel from Pulp Fiction to come save their ass, come and help. Well, they could have gotten help. And I'm like, okay, well, at that point, they could have gotten into a UFO and started an alien invasion of the Earth. I mean, anything could happen. But I mean, come on, they're in the middle of the ocean. There's no evidence for anything. They were trying to right their boat. Okay, the boat was blown to smithereens, but Scott, it was a 40-foot boat in the middle of the ocean. Even if it hadn't been blown up, like, if you and I are in the middle of the ocean, let's say we're both 25 and in tip-top physical condition, we can't turn over a 40-foot boat. I mean, 10 guys can't turn over a 40-foot boat.
Not in the water. No. It has made people very uncomfortable. However, it's polling. It's one of the few areas where Trump is actually polling pretty well. People aren't as aghast at this as they should be, because they should be. There's a conservative site here in Alabama called 1819, and the editor of it, who is a remarkable story, quick story. He had been in prison and cleaned up his life, got his crap together and is now the the executive who runs 1819. But he came out with a tweet or an X or whatever it's called today, and said that, due process. I mean, yeah, sure, due process, but I mean, not everyone deserves due process. I'm thinking, this is a guy who went through a system that gave him due process. It seemed like,
and yes, actually, that's the whole point of due process, is that everybody does deserve due process.
Yes. And so, given that there's no due process, that there's no evidence, this administration has given us no hard evidence that these boats are indeed carrying drugs. The New York Times did do a story on one of the boats that had been blown up, and the guy, he was a fisherman in a crappy little town in Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
So to make some extra money, once in a while he'd move drugs. I'm not defending his being a drug mule, but it was once in a while. They had no idea if that ship they blew up of his at that time had illicit drugs destined for American streets on it or not. And by the way, Ted, I mean, the other thing about this whole war on drugs and getting rid of these guys is that it's never effective. It never slows things down very much. I mean, we had prohibition. We can look at that as the number one model of failure of the government trying to prohibit people from taking illicit substances. And two, I mean, isn't the problem really Americans taking these drugs? I mean, that's the fact that there's a market for that in America. They're not shipping them.
But there's not even a market. They're not shipping these drugs to America. These drugs, the U.S. is suffering from a major drug problem. The opioid crisis, though, is not. They make cocaine. They send it to Africa. They send it to Trinidad. These boats are not coming to the United States, and if they were, they'd be bringing cocaine, not fentanyl. I mean, the point is the administration is lying about this. The president claims that every boat he blows up saves 25,000 lives.
What?
It's not saving any life. None. If it were, it'd be saving African lives, not American lives.
And and you know how much Trump cares about African lives, especially Somali.
Yeah, he loves them.
Oh my God. Like his own children.
By the way,
I love that number.
Isaac says the second strike by admission was done blindly in the fog of war, amateur hour. Yeah, I mean that's literally what Hegseth said. It was the fog of war. We couldn't see the target. Okay, well, but by definition, you're not allowed under the American rules of engagement to shoot something you can't see. So get your story straight.
They don't have it. The story is that Hegseth was there and was trying to impress himself, or was, he was on his third martini, his breakfast martini, and they saw this and he got, excited and decided to wipe these guys out. It's egregious. It's a war crime. It's plain and simple. I'm sorry.
Well, it's murder.
Yeah.
I love FU. So thanks for the $1. If we were really serious about killing drug smugglers, we'd be bombing the CIA. Fair point. At least we'd know where to find them.
Very good. Very good. No, if we really wanted to, I mean, we would be bombing Chinese ships headed for Mexico, and we'd be bombing Mexico. I mean, but we're not.